I don't take days off, do I? When my number is called, I don't take plays off, do I? I'ma always give you 20 and 10, no matter how much you wanna pretend that I ain't clutch with it. I don't do the load management, maybe I can handle it. When the heat is on, I can manage it. I'm kinda like James Harden's career, I can walk whenever.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Others Receiving Votes podcast, sponsored by MGlow, Market, Connect, Play. I'm your host, Loren Woods, a.k.a. Big Low. Hit me up on the tweet at Mr. Loren Woods. And on Instagram, same thing. Mr. Loren Woods on Instagram too. But that's neither here nor there. Welcome to the Friday Inferno, where I just get to go off. I drop a little bit of knowledge too, actually, on the Friday Infernos. Today, I'm gonna talk about. Well, first, let me just tell you a little funny anecdote. So, I'm driving past this building. It's like an office building, and I saw a Lamborghini parked outside. And a Lamborghini is my favorite car. It's my dream car. I'm gonna buy one for myself when I turn 45. Already, chalk it up. It's a wrap. It's gonna be done. But as I drove past a Lamborghini and I looked, it reminded me of this story. I think it's pretty funny. It's kind of messed up too, but back when I was in the NBA, I remember one of the teams I played for, it was ridiculously hard practices. So right before we were going into practice, we would sit outside in the garage, and kind of talk for a little bit sometimes. At this particular day, I think, we were just getting our mind right, getting mentally ready and mentally focused to deal with this insane practice. But, it was like me and maybe one or two of the rookies and maybe somebody else. I can't remember exactly, but I do remember that one of our teammates drove up in the garage with his Lamborghini. So he parks it and, lifts the door up, gets out, whatever, and, starts walking to the door to go into the practice gym. And, I just remember looking looking at him like, yo, I see you, brought out the nice toy today, for the weather, I see. And, he just kind of shot a little smirk or whatever. And one of the rookies was like, oh, yo, that joint is so fly. How much that cost? And, he looked at him and was like, too much for you, young fella, and don't touch it. Yo, it was crazy. So, I kind of chuckled. I laughed because just for the sheer audacity of it, it was crazy. But the funny part I remember was after he walked into the practice gym and the door shut, the rookie looked at him and was like, oh, I hate you. So it made me think about, what do you do when you hate your teammates? And so I wrote about it. The three things that I would do and that I suggest. This is just like my advice. Three of the things that you probably should do if you hate your teammates. Now, growing up, I've been playing basketball, or I played basketball. I've been in or around the game for about 30 years. And I don't think that there's any teammates that I played with that I actually hated. I'm pretty sure I'm not telling the truth. It's probably not the most accurate statement. But if there was, it might be one or two. I was pretty cool with most of my teammates. I was pretty, I'm just kind of like, I just kind of have that personality. Like I can kind of get along with anybody or try to. But I guess now that I'm actually really thinking about it a ton, I'm sure there's a couple of instances where I did not like one of my teammates, but I'm sure that people listening probably have the same issue at their jobs. Sometimes people hate their coworkers. Sometimes people hate their bosses. And now that I say that, I'm definitely going to do a podcast about what to do when you hate your coach. Because way more people hate their coaches than they hate their teammates. But you know what? Some of the coaches hate the players too. And some of the players think that the coaches hate them, and they really don't hate them. They just mad because they can't get in the game. And then they always say that the coach is holding them back, which is like the funniest thing ever. But I'm not even going to talk about that right now. But I am going to bring that up in a later Inferno because that shit is hilarious to me. But I digress. I think that it hasn't been that many people that I've hated throughout my career, and or that has hated me. Maybe more so hated me. Or more of my teammates hated me because I was kind of a dick when I was younger and when I played. Like it was, so I could see, looking back on it, I could see if some of you guys that are hearing this and you were my teammates and you hated me, my bad, I guess. It is what it is. But so the three things I would do or I would advise when you hate your teammates. One, when you see them, smile and speak. You know, it kind of sounds, contradictory. It's like, yo, if I hate somebody, I don't want to see him or talk to him, whatever. But, in basketball, you kind of have to see your teammates every day. So why do I say smile and speak? Because that immediately alleviates tension almost in any situation. Smiles always make things less hasty than what they are at the time. And so I would advise definitely smiling, speaking, like smile, what up, yo, what up, dog, fist bump, whatever y'all do, dap hugs all around. I don't really care. It really just alleviates the tension immediately. And yes, will you like them anymore? Probably not. But why put yourself in a more uncomfortable situation? Because if you sit there like in silence, it takes like a real kind of psychopath to just really like sitting there in silence in uncomfortable situations, or a sociopath or somebody that just doesn't feel anything. Not me. I don't like uncomfortable silences and stuff like that. So I'm probably always going to want to talk, or unless I'm listening to my headphones, but it's still a little weird. Because if you hate somebody, they probably know you do. And then if y'all are the only two in the locker room, which happens all the time, it happens, especially when you hate a teammate, you're always alone with them. It seems like it's crazy. But so smile and speak. That's the first thing I would say. It alleviates tension. The second thing I would say, try to find something in common with them that you like. Or, and hear me out, find something in common with them that you both hate. Now, why do I say this? Because obviously, if you like something, if you and somebody else like the same thing, you can bond instantly over that thing. And even though you might hate them or might have hated them, you're always going to say like, yeah, I don't really mess with them like that, but at least they like that. So like that makes me hate them less. Or like they're not that bad because they like this and I like this and I know I'm not that bad. So that's it. Now, something you hate. This is probably more common in these situations, because if you hate something together, then you have a common enemy. And who is that enemy? Usually the coach. Usually it's the coach. If you got one of those practices where it's crazy, maybe after a bad loss or something like that, y'all got to be in there running 50 suicides, you're going to be all pissed and all that. So that would suck. You get mad at the coach. Or let's say you play on a team and your money's late. You play on a team and your money's late, then you hate the management. So, y'all could bitch about that together. Oh, man, I can't believe they ain't paid us in 2 months. That's some bullshit, man. I'm out of here, and everybody knows nobody's leaving. You want to get that money, but you always threaten to leave. I did a couple of times in my career. Man, I'm out ski. I definitely got enough money to buy my own plane ticket. I am gone. I'll holler at y'all, on the rebound. But definitely try to find either something you like in common or something you hate in common. That's number 2. Number 3, try to avoid having encounters with them in the first place. That make things make things worse. So, let me explain this. Obviously, if you have a coworker, you're working with somebody, you have no control being in the same environment as them for the majority of time because that's what you do together, right? So, in basketball, if you have a teammate and you hate them, you're gonna see them every single day for sure, at least on the practice floor. But if you don't want to have those uncomfortable silences with them in the locker room or in the shower or like on the team bus or in the airport on the team plane, just don't be where they are. Let them be in one place and you go to another place. If it's practice, just get to practice way early so you don't have to see them in the locker room. Or get to practice way early. Or, I would never suggest getting to practice late, especially if you're on some of the teams I was on. They would fine you like per minute you were late or like $100 as soon as you walk in the gym. It was crazy. But get to practice early. You don't got to see them in those common areas. Then you have to practice with them. That's fine. You're going to have to do that anyway. And then leave practice late. Be the last one out of practice. And if you do this, it's probably going to help your game too because you're probably not going to go in the gym and just sit there for 30 minutes and nobody's in there. You might go in the weight room, get your strength training on. You might, after practice, you might be in there getting 30 or 45 minutes of extra shots up. It's going to make you a better player anyway. So that's number 3. Try to avoid those common areas or any encounters with them that'll make things worse anyway. Now, you can either do any of these 3 things or not. Either way it goes. Whatever you do, don't let it spill over into practice or the games. It's just bad for the team if that happens. It makes everybody look bad. It makes the managers look bad because it's like, the team's not performing as well. It makes your teammates look bad. It makes you look bad as far as being a player. It's just bad all around if you let it spill onto the floor, practice floor or games. And you got to know who it is too. If it's like a local player that you're having a problem with, that person, that's their home. They can get you sent up out of there. Depending on how much power they got. I played with some guys, some local players that were like the best players in the league since they were 20 years old or, like for the last 5 years. And, they don't think that in their own language, they won't go up to the manager. And, sometimes the coaches are foreign too. They'll go up to the manager and say, hey, look, I don't like playing with this guy. I'm not getting the best, of myself playing with this guy because, he's just not making me look good. And that's what he's here for. We're here to win. And we're not doing that because it's all him. And if you have one bad game, you could be up out of there because that local player is going to be there forever for the rest of his career. He's not going nowhere. You are the one that's in and out as new foreigners every year, every 2 years, whatever. That's you. And if you got a problem with one of your teammates and he is a foreigner also, both of y'all could look bad. And if both of y'all look bad, then both of y'all going home. So nobody's getting paid, which is crazy. And then if the situation gets too out of hand, the management is just going to pick whoever they like better. So, hopefully that's you. But, just try to avoid the situation altogether, man. I've seen this happen in the NBA. I've seen this happen in, Europe. I've seen this happen in Asia. I've seen it happen in college, in high school. It happens all the time. Guys don't like each other. They won't pass each other the ball. They won't, talk on defense. They won't help on defense. They'll shoot a shot when it's not their play just because the next pass had to go to the guy they didn't like. And it just looks so ridiculous. Now, I remember a couple of times when that happened and I wasn't involved with it. And then, the 2 guys that hated each other, they just kept passing me the ball because they didn't want to pass each other the ball. I love that shit. But, I had a great year that year. But, it was like, it just looked bad. We didn't play as well as we should have played, all of those games. And, a lot of the times when it comes to sports and, especially in environments where you for sure are going to have to be with that person. And I'm sure it happens in other industries too. You know, you just find a way to reconcile and move past it. You know, the more mature you are, the older you get, the more you learn that a lot of this stuff just doesn't even matter that much. It really doesn't. Well, that's the time we got today. That's all I got to say. Except for, y'all stay fortunate and be blessed.
I don't take days off, do I? When my number is called, I don't take plays off, do I? I'ma always give you 20 and 10, no matter how much you wanna pretend that I ain't clutch with it. I don't do the load management, maybe I can handle it. When the heat is on, I can manage it. I'm kinda like James Harden's career, I can walk whenever I feel, and that's fact.